Yeah, we had just after the last podcast, we had on the 27th of January a Philips event where they unveiled their OLED 807 TV range, which is interesting because it's the first OLED TV out of the gates this year that's using LG Display's new OLED EX panel. So LG Display announced this around CES earlier in the year, and it's a panel which is creating quite a bit of interest and a bit of chatter on the forums. It's uses a different manufacturing process with deuterium-based compounds rather than hydrogen-based compounds, and this leads to greater stability. So this has actually been incorporated by Philips in these OLED 807 range. Model sizes are from 48, 55, 65 and 77 inches. It's not immediately clear whether the 48-inch features the panel. And when OLED Evo was introduced last year, I think the 48 inches didn't include that straight off. So it's not overtly explicit whether it does or it doesn't. So typically they've said it's the range that has the OLED EX panel without specifying whether some of the TV model sizes do or don't. But that's the situation at the moment. So as well as the EX panel, the range key has the new 6th generation P5 AI image processing suite, which Danny Tak is obviously very proud of. Spent a lot of time on the event explaining the advantages that brings. That includes a new enhanced ambient intelligence function, which uses the TV light sensor, which monitors the lighting conditions in the room and adjusts brightness, gamma, color in real time. There's also some new film modes. It expands the auto film mode function from 2 to 7 film modes. So those are detected automatically. It still includes filmmaker mode is in there as well. And there's been some behind-the-scenes renaming of some of the other modes as well for 2022. So, for example, ISF Day, ISF Night have been renamed Expert 1 and Expert 2. Standard's been renamed Eco, and Danny's fave, Vivid Mode, has been renamed to Crystal Clear. So it sounds like there's a little bit of marketing box ticking going on there.
That's a breathtakingly cynical.
Well, you say that, but Danny's been open to suggestions for quite some time, and at the last event that we had at Abbey Road, there was some mention that Vivid Mode would be disappearing because the feedback from forum members was that Vivid Mode is not a very good name for a setting. So it's interesting to see that they have changed it.
They're listening, yeah. There's also a new Ambilight or improved Ambilight in function, which will be appearing on presumably more than just the 807. It uses what Philips are calling the one LED pixel concept, which addresses the LEDs individually. Essentially, that translates to more controllable zones and better location of the objects tracking around the outside of the screen as well. There's also IMAX enhanced support now. HDMI 2.1 is on 2 ports to deliver 4K 120 hertz at the full 48 gigabits per second. There's 70 watt 2.1 channel audio system, the usual full array of HDR support as well, so HDR 10 plus, Dolby Vision, HDR 10 and HLG. That's pretty standard for Philips TVs these days. And Android 11 is the operating system, so they haven't moved over to Google TV just yet. The other TV that they mentioned during this presentation was their The One Performance TV, which every year they pick one of their TVs to deliver a fairly high spec or a fairly reasonable spec, but without miring the whole process, the whole TV down in jargon. So it's an easy off-the-shelf solution for people who just want a really good TV experience. This isn't an OLED, it's just a usual LED panel, but that runs at 120 hertz as well. There is a 60 hertz version if the high frame rate isn't of interest to you for gaming purposes. But this now comes in an 86-inch version as well, which is Philips' first foray into super huge size TV screen sizes. It uses the 5th generation P5 image processor. Features Dolby Atmos support, all the HDRs, and also DTS Play-Fi, which is their multi-audio platform for multi-room capabilities. But if you did want a soundbar to go with that, there's the Philips B8507, the 3.1 channel soundbar.
That rolls off the tongue.
Don't they all? Which will pair with wireless subwoofer and wireless rear speakers as well.
Cracking lineup from Philips. They really are on a roll at the moment. I've been really impressed with their TVs over the last couple of years. Jules, you've been calibrating any of these TVs recently? Have you seen any of them?
Yeah, well, we don't see as calibrators generally. I don't think we see as many Philips as other brands. But when we do, and obviously on the OLED side, I tend to see more of those. They're really nice televisions. They have obviously the same LG panels as the other manufacturers. It's hard to go wrong when you're starting from the same base. And they've all got something to shout about that they're particularly good at. So yeah, I mean, they're decent displays.